Well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again here in the country kitchen. And you might notice how the countertop is clear, empty. Well, we got some cleanup still to do. Yeah. But what are we doing since y'all decided to drop on in? Well, as you can see, we've got a list here. Yep. And on this list is all the things I can think of after going through the fridge, through my pantries, because I'm getting ready to make a shopping trip. And I always start it this way, with a list. And I try to get it all down. Sometimes I don't remember things until I get to wherever I'm going. But I have a process, being an engineer, that I always go through before I head on out and start spending that money. And it served me well over all the years. Whether I was poorer than now or even more wealthy. Because if you start out with the list, you got a better chance of not overspending. So hey, now that we got our list, let me show you what I do before I go. Okay? So come on. Let's run on into the command center and let me show you what we do. So now that we got our list together, I can go virtual shopping. Check the sales papers of local groceries that are close to me. And still, it all depends on what I'm going to be doing, what type of shopping trip it is. Am I going to do a stock up? Let's say for meats, or canned goods, or both, and dry goods. Or am I just doing my monthly shopping? And you got to understand, it's just me now. I'm not shopping for a family of 4 or 5 anymore. In the last shopping trip I did, I showed you my meager haul, where I only spent $51. Well, that was it, and that was back on December the 9th. But one place I always check, especially if I'm considering buying some meats for the freezers, is CarMax. And the reason being, they're known for their meats. The story behind them was they were a family of butchers, and they worked for all the major grocery chains, Winn-Dixie, Kroger, Piggly Wiggly, and they got tired of it. So they built their own grocery store out in rural Tallapoosa County, and there's nothing out there. You just drive on 2-lane blacktop county roads till you come to a 4-way stop, and there, popping out of the ground, is CarMax Grocery. It's smaller than the superfoods I take you to all the time, but they got everything in there, and they're the only one in that part of the county. But like I say, they're known for their meats, and I know people who drive an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. They bring coolers, and they stock up on meat. Because like I said, they normally have the cheapest meats of the highest quality. Yeah, they eat what they cut. Plus, they'll cut you anything you want. However thin, thick, or however much. All you got to do is ask. And this is their weekly ad. It's good to the 29th, today being the 26th. And you can see right here, choice, boneless chuck roast. And this is something you got to understand about beef grades. There are 3 of them. Prime being the very best. Choice is the 2nd grade. And it's all about the marbling, the fat content, to lean. And then there's select. It's the least of the 3. So if you're thinking you're getting a good deal based on some meat on sale, and it says it's select, or it doesn't say anything at all, that means it isn't even graded. You see, you got to pay for the grading. That's a fact. You can check on it through the USDA. But anyway, You can see right here, chuck roast, choice, boneless, which is another thing to consider. You're not paying for the bone. $4.99 a pound. Chuck steaks, which I might add, is just chuck roast sliced. Yeah, you can actually do that yourself and save $1 a pound, but it's $5.99 a pound. I'm not buying either. Top sirloin steaks, which used to be a favorite in the steakhouses back in the day. Not so much now. Everybody's in love with the ribeyes. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing what marketing will do these days. But the top sirloin steaks are $4.99 a pound. I got quarter loin pork chops for $1.69. Center cut, them the fancy ones, for $2.49 a pound. Country style pork ribs, which I love, and actually, y'all were here one day when I was cooking them up in the oven for $1.79. And of course, right here is the family pack of drumsticks or thighs. The 2 pieces of chicken I prefer over the breast for $1.19 a pound. Yeah, so you know what I would do? I've got chicken on my list, so I'm going to write that price down. I surely am. And then you can see here the other things they have on sale. Everything from bacon and sausage and bologna, coffees and that. And I'll go through my list. And anything that's on my list, I'll write their price down. Like the cabbage and the yellow onions. Cabbage for $59. Yellow onions for $1.79. Oh, those halo mandarins. $4.99 for a 3-pound bag. Yeah. If I go to CarMax, it's going to be hard for me not to grab a bag. But then you can look at the ketchup, the soft drinks, and all of that. But like I say, anything that was on my list, I'd write the price down in a column that said CarMax. But yeah, it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive there. That's reasonable. But next, I'd look at the next closest grocery outlet to me, and that would be another place I took you to once upon a time. And that's the Piggly Wiggly over there in Electric, Alabama. Yeah, making a run to the pig, as we call it. And they got the sirloin steaks. They're not top sirloin, but they're $4.98 a pound, only 1 cent cheaper. Now they got skinless fryer thighs, and they're boneless for $1.63. Now, I don't mind the bones. And then again, if I did, I know how to debone. It don't take much. They got shoulder roast for $3.95. That's a nice cut of meat, but it needs to be cooked either in the oven or a slow cooker, crock pot, low and slow. And then they got the sirloin pork chops for $1.37. Now that's not a bad price. They got your sliced bacon, Carolina Pride, 12 ounce, $3.37. The Swaggerty roll sausage and the 1 pound chubs, which I might add, Swaggerty is pretty good for $3.17. Of course, they got corn dogs on sale and a shrimp ring, spaghetti sauce from Ragu, big old jar that take me forever to eat, 45 ounces for $3.48. Of course, you can get the Piggly Wiggly brand of kidney beans for 75 cents a can. The Knorr pastas and sides for 99 cents. Well, they got fancy zucchini for $1.17 a pound. That's a pretty good price considering the time of year. Roma tomatoes are on my list, so I'd write that price down. Bell peppers, 89 cents. I got some in the freezer, but that's not a bad price considering what they were not too long ago, were They were as low as $1 a piece, up to as high as $2 or $3 a piece. And then they got fresh broccoli florets for $2.75. And, you know, Progressive soups for $1.68. Block cheese, the 8-ounce, Piggly Wiggly brand, for $1.72. That's a good price. And you know, remember when we used to get banquet pot pies for 25 cents? Yeah. And forever, they were like about 60 cents. Now they're $1.19. Life's crazy. Oh boy. And of course, Ritz crackers, you know, back in the day, Depression era in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, that was a treat too. Yeah. Woo, we're going to the Ritz. $3.18 a box. And Simply orange juice is $3.45 for the 52 ounce. But you sort of get my point. Anything that was on my list that Piggly Wiggly had on sale, I'd write their price down in the column, Piggly Wiggly. And then, finally, what I would do is I'd go over here to our fine friends at Walmart. Because we got a Walmart. Oh, here in Tallahassee too. And because of them, we no longer have a Winn-Dixie. As soon as this Walmart opened, Winn-Dixie went away. And not too long after that, our Piggly Wiggly, that I truly love, with a deli and everything, went away too. So now we have Walmart and Superfoods. So what I'd do is I'd take my list and I would put in here what I would be buying. It's just like your chicken. Then you take a look at their prices. Okay? Boneless breast, $2.97 a pound. Yep. Breast tenderloins, $3.94 a pound. Chicken thighs, boneless, $3.48. Yep. Or you can get the boneless, skinless chicken thighs down here for $2.96. The chicken drumsticks are $1.24. Yeah, if I remember right, CarMax was cheaper than that. So I go through that same list all over here. And it does take time to do all this. Yep. And any price here, I would write down what the prices were. Because then, where am I going to go first? Well, of course, I'm going to go to my fine friends, family owned and operated, where they always know your name, and so glad you came, Superfoods. Because I'm going to tell you something, especially with produce. Let's just look here. You know, the lettuce fiasco. Over at Walmart, yep, they still say you can get it for $1.98. I've been to that Walmart 5 times. And on all 5 times, there's not been nary a head of this $1.98 lettuce. You see, you can even go over here and click this little box, and it's supposed to show you what's available in your store. And it says right here, you know, and it ain't saying out of stock. So all this stuff is supposed to be here. And every time I went, I checked here too. Nope. When I got there, there was none. Of course, I only had 2 crates out, and both were empty. Because see, at our Walmart, the produce section is not all that big. And I'll be the first to say the vast majority of its produce and fruits, they look tired. And when I have bought something there and brought it home, it didn't take but a day or two or three before it was wilting and heading north. You know, you can get a 3-pack of romaine, they tell me, for $3.74. Or you can buy just one head for $2.24. But this is what I do every time I get ready to go. And yeah, it takes me a bit, probably hour and a half, maybe more, depending on how long that list is. And then I head out the next day to grab my groceries. But like I told you, I'm going to go to Superfoods first. And even though I'm armed with the prices of produce in all 3 stores, should have they've had it on sale, and I was wanting it. You know, it's like cabbage, lettuce, celery, and what have you. I take a look at theirs. You know, I've never bought a bad thing in their produce section in Superfoods. I've got celery in the fridge right now that I bought on December the 9th, and it's still fine. Starting to get a little bit, you know, limper, so I probably need to stick it in a glass, and it'll be fine. If you don't believe it, you should try it. You just cut a little bit off the end, put it in a glass, filter water, put your plastic bag over it, tie it with a rubber band if you want, stick her back in the fridge. Yeah, you'll be surprised how long it'll go. But this is my process, and maybe it's similar to yours. You know, people often tell me, Mr. Tom, you got to go to Aldi's. Well, Aldi's is a haul for Mr. Tom. There's one in Wetumpka on the very south side edge. No good way to get there. It's all 2 Lane County roads. Or I could go to the one in Montgomery. The roads are better, but it's even further. So is the one in Auburn, Alabama. All of which would take me anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour just to get there. Not knowing whether what I was needing or wanting would be there when I showed up. Now granted, prior to 2019 and before, that wasn't much of a problem. But as I've showed, and so many of you have commented in the comments below the videos, that's no longer the case now. The days of us always going to the grocery store and seeing everything there, every time we show up, every day, morning, noon, or night, regardless of the day in the week, has long been gone since the events of 2020. But let me know what's your process and how you go about your grocery shopping. I'd be interested, as well as I'm sure many who watch the video. So until old Mr. Tom, you know, the kitty crew, yeah, old Spooky, Cleo, Speedy, Mr. Gray, sometimes Heathcliff, Little Gracie, and Little Bit. See you on that next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. And may God bless you as you bless those in your lives. I got to get back to writing prices down on my list. For tomorrow will come no matter what I do. And I'm going shopping. And if y'all are nice, I'll take you along too. Later, all.